home this season would be truly a benefit for Baylor to be able to stay here for the first 4 matches.
Sarah Sizik, your 2-time All-Conference Setter of the Year for the Pioneers, will get us started here in set number 1. You see the nice size up front for Shu, and they keep up with Baylor. A dig from Wolf. And the first point goes to the Pioneers. Gianna Scaletti right on cue, the senior. Boy, she hit .526 in the conference tournament, including 800 in that critical all-or-nothing championship match against Central Connecticut State.
Those statistics, rightfully so, putting her on the all-tournament team.
They went to Yoss the last time, back to Presley. No, ma'am. Scaletti again. So physical at the net, a steady presence up front, and she has been shattering shoe records and conference records along the way. A free ball for Baylor. And as much as we will talk about Yassiana Presley, your player of the year, she has no shortage of support and talent around her.
Shelly Stafford with that last kill, hitting .365 on the season. Time and time again, for the past 3 seasons, she's led the Bears in hitting efficiency and truly doesn't make a lot of mistakes.
But it's the Pioneers who have taken 3 of the first 4 points. What a fantastic start for the women who had to drive an hour to LaGuardia before they hopped on a plane to Dallas, took the bus the rest of the way to Waco, and able to tool the block as well. Give credit that time to Michaela Doyle.
Sacred Heart, a conference that buses to every single match within conference. Coach Machen does a good job of scheduling further away matches in preseason, but this is a big trip for Sacred Heart.
Baylor finally back on the board. We talk about home court advantage for the Bears. This is a year where they have shattered some attendance records. Saw better than 7,000 on hand when, at the time, #1 Texas squared off against #3 Baylor. Baylor took it in 5 sets to avenge their only loss still on the season. They would share the Big 12 title with the Longhorns.
Definitely an environment here in the Farrell Center that belongs to a #1 seed team.
And another ball that is floored. Presley.
Yassiana Presley sees the split in that block, and that is just something that Sacred Heart is not going to be able to keep giving her tonight.
Here's Brea Hunt, your 2nd-generation Baylor Bear. Hunt with the dig. Presley. Yassiana, unanimous Big 12 Player of the Year. And it's a conference with some talent, including that #2 national seed just an hour and a half south of here in Austin.
5.52 kills per set in a conference where they know the ball is going to her a lot of the time.
She's constantly been among the top 2 or 3 in the country in kills per set and points per set. And a nice service run continues for Brea Hunt after Kara McGee puts that one away.
Smart shot by Kara McGee, just a freshman, but incredible volleyball IQ, wise beyond her years.
Serve receive from Dole. They'll go to the right pin. Brea Hunt watches that one as if in slow motion. Drift wide for the error. Brea Hunt has pulled the Bears out of a deficit and now a 2-point lead.
One of the 2 captains on this Baylor team, Brea Hunt, a steady, consistent leader and very good at right back defense.
That pin. Hunt with the pancake, but the Bears cannot get it over. 4-hit violation will end the service run of Hunt. As we see, Scaletti will rotate off. Another look.
Definitely got under that, just Baylor wasn't able to get it back over.
Lana Felix, the first year, comes on to serve. Presley, just long of the sidestepping line judge. First NCAA tournament for Shu since 2011 when they fell to Stanford in the first round. The year prior, they fell to Nebraska. In other words, they are not exactly getting favorable draws. This year, they had to settle for the #1 national seed, Baylor. But at the moment, they are hanging in there.
Definitely not an ideal draw, but when you talk to the Shu coaching staff, they said there was genuine excitement and looking forward to the challenge when they saw their names pop up to be playing at the #1 seed.
Mentioned how in the Northeast Conference, you're not going to get likely an at-large bid, no matter how dominant you were in the regular season. Well, Robert Morris beat Shu twice this year, but was knocked off early in the conference tournament despite hosting. So Shu faces Long Island, or LIU, as well as Central Connecticut State, wins those 2 matches, and here they are for just the 3rd time in program history.
Michaela Dole also on that NEC All-Tournament team.
Alana. They thought they saw some space on the back row, but Liesl Nellis able to close that gap. And we are 15 points in. 8 of them belong to the Pioneers. Regan Palanchi able to put that one away. Level at 8.
Kara McGee powers through for that last kill, just named to the Big 12 all-freshman team, and very well deserved. She has been everything for Baylor in terms of a consistent blocker, a consistent killer, just a steady presence at the net all season long.
That ball is in. Another success story for Regan Palanchi and her teammates. They just love that high approach on her swing. Probably the most improved player for Shu this year. An ace! Pioneers lead doubles. And how about this start? Well, it's going to take more to be at the right place with that big swing from Stafford.
Shelly Stafford is so smart. She's a veteran 5th-year senior, and she knows volleyball well, to the point that the coaches refer to her as a coach on the court. She sees the floor and sees where there's opportunities to score.
She's the only Baylor Bear to ever be all-conference in the Big 12 all 4 years. Now, again, a lot of these firsts, we expect all of a sudden to happen a little more often with the program that Ryan McGuire has built now here in Waco. Baylor erases the 2-point deficit. Tracked down by Sizik. A well-timed block. Another one. Regan Palanchi going back for seconds. Undaunted.
Very good job early on in this game by the Shu block. We talked about how critical that would be, but doing a good job of blocking all of Baylor's hitters and not just keying on one.
This time it's the Bears with the block. And we are level at 11. And Shelly Stafford 2 times now, first team all Big 12. The former Shelly Fanning got married back in May to Samuel Stafford.
As expected, heating up very early in this NCAA tournament first round. And Shelly Stafford is experienced. She's been here before. She knows what it takes to win games like this, and she's here for it.
Presley will just send it over. The pass from Smallcomb. Her counterpart, Wolf. And the dump is in. Oh, a nice little tap from Sarah Sizik. She'll claim the point and the serve.
Sarah Sizek's the conference's setter of the year for the second time in a row. Truly is everything for this team. The coaches describe her as an offensive setter who is similar to a point guard who thinks shoot first and pass second. She sees the court well and gets a lot of dunks.
She's 8th in the nation in triple doubles this year. As into the net from Nellis, a rare error early on for the Pioneers.
Yeah, a triple-double is a difficult thing to get, especially as a setter, and you're right, she is 8th in the nation in that category.
Serve from Stafford, who's led Baylor the last 3 years in hitting efficiency. She rewrote the Baylor hitting record books in hitting efficiency the last 2 years. This year just had to settle for a 365 clip. And for the first time today, we call out the name of Marika Vandermark, your 6'6" opposite out of the Netherlands.
The development of Marika Vandermark on the right side has been so crucial for Baylor this season in that they have a huge block on both pins.
As Hannah Locken dials her up. That'll carry long off the palm of Nellis. And the Bears now, believe it or not, their largest lead of this first set, all of 2 points. Kelly Stafford, who eclipsed the 1,000 career kills mark in that victory at Wisconsin, that really caught everyone's attention that this could be a special group for Baylor this year. Back to Vandermark, leaves her mark, driving that one down. Baylor's the first of 15 after some struggles early against the Pioneers of Shoe. Number 1 national seed Baylor right now up by 3 over an upset-minded Pioneer squad out of Fairfield, Connecticut. Yassiana Presley, your Big 12 Player of the Year, and it was a very green and gold clad postseason team for the Big 12. Your unanimous Setter of the Year, Hannah Locken, Kara McGee on the all-rookie team, and of course Shelley Stafford, first team All-Big 12 once again. And who was the Coach of the Year again in the Big 12? That was Ryan McGuire for the second time in 5 years. And what a job he's done reinventing the standards here in Central Texas.
Several of those honors being voted on unanimously, speaking just to the statement that Baylor has made in the Big 12 Conference.
That ball is in. This is not a Pioneers team that came here to get bowled over. (20-11) on the year, 13-3 in conference. Mentioned they finished second to Robert Morris. As much as they don't like Pittsburgh, they wouldn't mind going back one more time this year. That is the, quote, neutral site of the national championship and national semifinals in a couple of weekends. As the Pioneers will get the benefit of that last whistle. Before the swing of Yass. Serve from Nellis. They go back to Presley. A little stutter step, but able to get it over. Don't overthink it. You've got a 6'4" middle. The freshman of McGee puts it away.
Kara McGee and Hannah Locken with just such a strong connection and chemistry early on in Kara McGee's career.
The high school All-American out of San Antonio. Mentioned Brea Hunt, second generation Baylor Bear. Dad played basketball here, now works in the NBA. And a dump. Ms. Locken will take care of things herself this time. Thank you very much.
A little taste of why she is the Big 12 Setter of the Year unanimously.
Led the Big 12, 11.5 assists per set. That's 16th in the nation. A struggle on the serve receive, but Pioneers still with a chance. But the error from Dole. Dole is a 6th-year senior. Timeout for Shoe. Boy, they came out roaring tonight. Freya Hunt about to resume her serve here in this opening set. Lincoln Rose along with Katie Stager. Welcome back to the Waco Regional, where USC knocked off Stephen F. Austin earlier tonight. Those were your number 28 and 29 ranked teams in the RPI. As service error for Hunt will gift a point back over to Shu. Sacred Heart University has won 18 of its last 20 sets, a little 6-match winning streak that dates back to their last loss at Robert Morris in Pittsburgh. Robert Morris was 2 of their 3 conference losses this year. They avenged the other one in the conference tournament against LIU in the semifinal. Able to get some fingertips as McGee finds success.
12 players returned from last season's NCAA tournament team for Baylor, including 4 starters, but not included in that is Kara McGee, who has 5 kills on 5 attempts, hitting 1,000 tonight in her very first NCAA tournament game.
Presley, flat-footed, sends a driving serve. And Presley saw the touch of the net, just could not recover quickly enough as the Pioneers are back within 3.
Michaela Dole doing a good job of playing off hands and seeing Baylor's big block and trying to utilize it.
Serve from Lillian Vargo, a first year out of Virginia. It'll be a short-lived service, though.
Hannah Lockham with 2 kills already today, and she does it with a certain spice to her. It's almost like she has eyes in the back of her head, and she just sees the court with them.
Wolf with the serve. Denied an ace. Presley from the back row, not a chance. The pride of Houston, Texas gets up in a hurry, and that ball gets down even quicker.
And for every Yassiana Presley kill is a Hannah Lockham set, and they just connect and communicate so well, being in their 3rd season together.
Yeah, they're both fantastic, but it's a chicken and egg debate whether it's the great sets that have made Presley look elite or just the opposite. As Wolf continues her serve, native of Burke, Virginia. Back to Dole. Off the block into the pin. That will give the point to the Pioneers. As it was Locking the guilty party on the near side.
Michaela Dole averages 2.1 kills per set, but is blowing that out of the park in this first set with 5.
Yeah, now's the time to be peaking, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Oh, nice job dialing it down a notch in the middle by Polanyi. Malcolm sends it forward.
Free ball over to the Bears, not ideal for Shu.
She said not ideal, America. Gia Milana packs a punch.
Gia Milana played her first 2 seasons as a standout at Maryland, then transferred to Baylor for her junior year and has truly come alive in this senior year, just being such a huge asset on the outside for the Bears.
Well, and when a team puts together a scouting report on Baylor, what's the priority put on Gia Milana? I mean, the Big 12 knows about her, but you just cannot focus on shutting down just 1 or 2 players for Baylor.
You really can't. And that speaks to the depth of this Baylor team. That at Maryland, she was the only one on their scouting report they were keying on, and here she gets a little more opportunity to not have every single huge block.
Last point goes to Shu. Again, just their 3rd NCAA tournament. Serve from the libero Smallcomb, sophomore. Locking back to Milana. Point A to point B for another kill.
We've seen her on the outside, we've seen her on the right side. Gia Milana is that steady 6 rotation outside, sometimes subbed in the back row, but can pass with the best of them and serve receives for the Bears.
Nothing wrong that the first year Jasmine Rogers was doing defensively. She comes in on that back row for Dole, but it's hard to react quickly enough. Pioneers will pull the point back, though. It is still set point, however. So no room for error here from Sarah Sizik. First frame was a challenge, but Baylor ready for that challenge here in the first round of the NCAA.
And their commitment to their academics as well as their athletics, and just the professors at Sacred Heart's willingness to wake up at 6:30 and proctor an exam for Sarah.
Her head coach, Rob Machen, channeled his old boss in Mick Haley, summing her up as saying, honestly, she's just fun. We'll go away from Presley this time to Vandermark. And that block lands in. Remember, the Pioneers got off to a great start in that first set. But the frame still went the way of Baylor. As you saw Graham Schreiber watching that ball drop down on the line. An error a moment later from the Pioneers to level things at one apiece. Liesl Nellis out of Estonia, who's really had to grow up quickly. Now she's a fifth-year senior, but even as a kid was in boarding school away from home most of her life. Was brave enough to get on a plane out of Moscow to the United States, begin her college endeavors. That's another success story there from Scaletti. And she'll rotate off. If Baylor can take advantage of her absence. McGee. So Kara McGee's a freshman, so she's 1-for-1 qualifying for the NCAA tournament. This senior class for Baylor is the first senior class to make 4 trips to the NCAA tournament. Hard to believe.
A very special senior class celebrated last Saturday after their win against TCU. Just a senior class who's had a lot of firsts, and hopefully they'll be able to keep doing that.
Here's a serve from Brea Hunt. From the left pin, nice confident swing, but it's long. As Dole just off the mark. Now this weekend, no sport court down, so Baylor, as familiar as you can be with this floor, another one that's long. Next weekend, when we are down to 16 teams, then 8 teams competing, and for the rest of the year, we'll have this universal flooring down, the sport court. Really let you know you are close to the top prize in Division I volleyball.
For that regional round, it is such a benefit to be able to play in front of your own fans, to be able to play in a court that you're comfortable with, and so that's why seeding is so crucial in this NCAA tournament.
Dole comes through this time. The serve from Vargo, again, just a first year. Success in the middle for Sacred Heart. Shu able to level it 4 apiece. It's really the first time the Pioneers have been healthy all season, just in time. Into the block, and it'll drop down for Baylor. So how did Yassiana Presley dethrone Micaiah White of Texas for top honors in the Big 12? And look, Ryan McGuire gives her credit. As good as she is, she still has thick skin where you can be honest with her about areas you need her to improve, and she will take that constructively. And you will see that implemented her next time on the floor.
Yeah, a player that is extremely coachable, who's never satisfied with what she's doing and is always looking to take that next level up.
Dole comes through with another kill. She rotates off now. And again, in her place to serve, Jasmine Rogers out of Ridgewood, New Jersey. Where Dole is so dangerous, but as she is rotated off, Baylor goes up for the block and able to deny Nellis.
Kira McGee just reads sets so well and gets all the way out to that pin, regardless if it's on the outside or the right side.
Service error from Baylor. Well, again, Baylor 25-20 was able to pull away very late in that first set. But still a scrappy Pioneer squad, making it tough here in this second frame. It's long. Again, the Trojans of USC able to take care of business in straight sets earlier today on this floor against a very impressive Stephen F. Austin squad. The Trojans have the benefit of sitting back and scouting the Bears, and perhaps the Pioneers have found a few areas of, I don't know if you want to say weakness, but something that resembles vulnerability for the #1 national seed. And Larkin still running the ship. A serve from Cizik. Alana. Excellent job getting down with the dig by Rogers. Back row, Presley. And that's your only hope. If Presley's on the back row, you might have an extra split second at the net.
It is obvious that Sacred Heart did their homework in knowing that they needed to block Yassiana Presley even when she's swinging from the back row.
The lead is 2 for Shu. Remember, Baylor has only lost 1 match all year. They had only lost 2 sets before they went to Austin and were swept by the Longhorns at the time. That wrestled the #1 ranking away from Baylor briefly before Texas returned to Waco.
Shelly Stafford with her 5th kill. We talked about it before, but Shelly Stafford is the glue, the critical player for this Baylor team. She's steady, she knows when to swing, she knows when to tip, and she's going to show up in big matches like this.
And sent over to Nellis. Vandermark, just a perfect fit for that right pin with that left swing.
Marika Vandermark, maybe the most high energy player on the Baylor team, or maybe in the country, I'm not sure, but has been known to cheer, to celebrate, to even go off the court and chest bump Ryan McGuire.
An ace for Bram Schreiber, former high school All-American at a powerhouse in the Dallas area, Lovejoy High School. Produced some other Big 12 and national talent as well. Cizik dials up Mirowinski. They say a block for Baylor, no 4-hit violation. Presley. Well, you can consider Scoletti and Mirowinski unimpressed. No fear from the block from Shu. One more to get it over.
In true Yassiana Presley fashion, she gets punched and she punches right back.
That's not an easy ball. She makes it look easy. Remember, Yassiana's just a junior. A service error has us tied at 11 here in the second set. Baylor played on their schedule this year 12 teams that are in the NCAA tournament this month. They beat all of them. They went 12-1. That one loss in one of those 12 wins again against the Longhorns, with whom they shared the Big 12 title. Presley able to recover there to prevent the near ace, but no recovery here. That one's wide of the pin. Shu is the first to a dozen.
Yeah, a lot of ranked wins for this Baylor team this season, which obviously helped in boosting that RPI and boosting that ranking in the AVCA coaches poll. But even more so, I think it'll help them playing those high-level teams in this tournament.
Vandermark, the third-year sophomore. Of course, Baylor beat Texas in 5 here after being swept in Austin. That meant the automatic bid went to the Longhorns, your number 2 national seed. A lot of bragging rights for the Big 12. Locken will tap it back over. Presley. And they'll get a net violation against Shu. Mention our first referee is Richard Blue. Stephen Shepard across the way, our second referee. Karen McGee at 6'4" went up, came back down, and still had a good angle on that ball. Got to have big hands for all the rings they're winning these days. Big 12 title, playing perhaps for the biggest prize. Baylor has a 4-point lead. They would prevail by 5 in the first set. Great communication from Brea. No words need to be spoken, though, from Kara McGee. Timeout, Shu. Rob Machen, 13 years at the helm. Again, a former assistant coach on those national championship teams at USC. He didn't come to Connecticut empty-handed. Top assistant Kim Roller now past 7 years. She actually began her career as a player as a Trojan. Her alma mater, of course, still playing. We'll see them tomorrow. But she played her final year of eligibility for Shu and has been quite the asset to his staff. She can still show the players what they need from them while he can tell them.
I think it's definitely an asset when you have a player that can emulate maybe someone on your scouting report, and that is what Kim is able to do for Shu.
Kim, coming out of high school, was the number 3 recruit in the nation before signing with USC. Presley denied. Second bite of the apple. Ramschreiber tracks it down. Hunt will send it over. And the Pioneers, what a rally. As they stick with it, Palanchi with the kill.
Palanchi finding that deep corner and swinging high and able to kind of find those hands on the Baylor defense.
That ball's in. Yassiana knows the dimensions of this court. I know they're the same in every arena. She's able to find the exact panel that she wants.
8 kills for Yassiana Presley, and you said it. She is comfortable in this gym. She wants to keep playing here and is excited to host this NCAA tournament.
The Pioneers take advantage of the aggressive play from Baylor, able to tool the block. Back within 3. Need a run here. As we return to the serve of Jasmine Rogers on the back row for Dole. Locken goes to Milana. Half of the kills she has this year, she's winning just by her takeoff. You are so mesmerized seeing her launch. Gets up in a hurry. Coach McGuire thinks she's probably the strongest, most physical player they have.
Very physical. A feature written on Gia Milana earlier on this season, and just her path to Baylor and her transfer, and just kind of talking about the way she was raised to value hard work, and I think you see that a lot in her as a player on the court.
You mentioned her career started as a Terp at Maryland. Right on cue, Milana puts another one away. This year's second team All Big 12 in her second and final year as a Baylor Bear.
A lot of things drew her to Baylor. It was the opportunity to play in the Big 12 Conference, the ability to be here competing for national championships, and also just the ability to grow in her faith at Baylor, which is a Christian university.
And she's out of Romeo High School in Romeo, Michigan. and herself right at home in Waco. Presley gets down, a free one here for the Pioneers. Alana, part of the block was Stafford, but they could not recover as that ball's quickly sent right back by Scaletti.
Scaletti has very quick on the net play, just proves her athleticism in the middle.
And the Pioneers put together a run here. Dropped the first set, 25-20. Nellis gets a touch. And Liesl Nellis, fourth in the conference in the NEC with 3.2 kills per set. A serve from Sizik. The southpaw from the Netherlands. Just about halfway through her college career.
Marika Vandermark, as difficult to block on the outside as she is on the right.
And nice communication by the libero for Baylor, Tara Wolf, telling all of her teammates to stay away from that one.
A good look there at Tara Wolf, described as our teammates as a steady leader, but also very sassy. That she's a sassy, fun personality that
Baylor will prompt Shu to use its second timeout. We step aside here in the midst of set number 2. You can call them Big Red, Pioneers, maybe Baby Sharks. Pioneers 13 sweeps this year. We know number 14 is not going to happen today, dropping that first set. But what a program it has been in recent years, including this year, especially the defense with the 236 blocks coming into tonight. And that block party traveled to Waco as Yassiana Presley has not been able to always have her way at the net. Baylor will take that one. Shu is out blocking Baylor 5-3 so far. Before that, ball from Yass. Vandermark off some fingertips, off of Rogers. Now that ball is going to need to be credentialed by the NCAA. It is set point for a second straight set for Baylor. The number 1 team in the coaches poll, the number 1 national seed, more importantly. Graham Schreiber. Presley puts it away. 2 sets down. Both have gone to their tips. Great recovery by Nellis. A dig from Smallcomb. And into the tape. I'll say even into the pin. Cut that point even shorter. A serve from Shelly Stafford. And last year, Shelly hit .397 to rewrite her own record for best efficiency for hitters at Baylor in history. And they are going to get the touch at the net. First 2 points for the Bears.
That stat of highest hitting efficiency is so impressive because it really speaks to just how good of a hitter Shelly Stafford is. That when she gets balls, that she takes care of them, that she's efficient, that she gets a lot of kills. But it's not like she gets just a million sets.
And Baylor, who has seen Shu linger in the first 2 sets, wouldn't mind running away with this third closeout set, with the Trojans awaiting them tomorrow in round 2. A nice ball set up there for Mirawinski. And a double hit on the Bears will gift the point over to the Pioneers. Sacred Heart University, you talk about some of the famous alumni. Kevin Nealon from the old Hans and Franz skits of Saturday Night Live. John Ratzenberg, I know as Cliff Clavin of Cheers. You, Katie, probably know him more likely as Ham, the piggy bank from Toy Story.
Oh, yeah, Ham's great.
The trilogy, I believe it is now.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
And Vandermark is going to make sure we end our Pixar references and stick to volleyball the rest of the way.
Put the people out of their misery for us.
Short serve from Hunt. And Scaletti saw that block coming. And this is the best start in these first 3 sets for Baylor. And USC had a sweep in the first match today. That ball ruled in right on the back line. Line judge right on top of it.
Michaela Dole extends her leading of shoes kills to 9.
Neither team with anybody in double digits just yet. Presley sitting on 9, Vandermark on 8. And a service error will give Baylor its next point. Shu a little bit cleaner today. Alana.
Coach McGuire talks about how Milana might be the most physical player on the Baylor team, but does a good job of still being smart, mixing in those soft tips right over the block.
Timeout, Shu. It's a must-win set number 3. Otherwise, well, of course, when the top 4 national seeds were unveiled, Baylor was right there at number 1. Along the way, their first ever Big 12 title. They split the regular season with Texas. They beat the number 1 Longhorns at the time here in Waco to help go 13-0 at home. After the Bears finished second in the Big 12 last year. Mentioned this year they went 6-1 against the top 25, 12-1 against teams that are in the NCAA tournament. They started this year in non-conference play on the road at Wisconsin, in Lincoln, Nebraska, really testing themselves. Came out unblemished. Only dropped 2 sets outside of conference play.
We talk about preparation for big stage volleyball games later on in this tournament, and I think Wisconsin was a great example of one where they were able to play in front of a very big and loud crowd.
Yassiana Presley is not impressed with the laws of gravity. And she got up and just stayed up. Dole with a cross-court shot, Wolf with the dig. And Presley does not have to give you her A material every time to be successful.
Nice high roll shot deep down that right corner, and a smart shot by Yassiana Presley where she didn't have to take a full arm swing.
Little slide from Palanchi. Alana a little strong. It's a nice effort by Jasmine Rogers just to get out of the way.
Good intent there by Milana to try to swing high hands and go off that shoe block, but just slightly missed it.
Pioneers have only been swept twice this year. That was at Army and at Yale. But they face the toughest challenge in theory here in the NCAA tournament. They are up against the #1 national seed. And an ace for Locken in the 3-year starter. Running this offense. Continues her serve. A lot of confidence on the swing from Nellis. Vandermark. That one clipping the tape on the way down. Still had her way, and it's a 7-point lead.
Locken did a good job of drawing the block and pushing them to the outside and then just throwing it backwards and letting Marika Vandermark put it away.
A service error for Locken can let her refocus her attention on simply being a setter, a swinger, a blocker.
The list goes on and on.
Narrow things down a little bit here for Hannah.
Does it all.
Malcolm, former Massachusetts Gatorade Player of the Year. That's when she was a setter. Of course, now wearing the libero top for Shu.
Kill number 10 for Marika Vandermark on only 15 attempts. We talked about her growth and development over the past year, but truly just her numbers alone are so impressive in terms of where she was to where she's become. She's extremely coachable and has the energy to learn and wants to get better.
Presley drives one at Smallcombe. Have to imagine that red shirt sticks out in her peripheral vision. A dump from Sizik, but while it was the right idea, just carries long. And this service continues for Bramschreiber now, a 9-point lead for Baylor in a closeout set number 3. Well, I think everybody in green and white got a swing on that rally. We even saw a set from Stafford at one point. And Vandermark puts it away. Now with 11 kills. And an ace for the Bears. Their lead has grown to 9, their largest advantage so far today. And that understandably has some concern for the bench of Shu. Baylor, 2 sets down. Again, the Pioneers, your champions from the Northeast Conference Tournament. Automatic bid into the big dance. That's something that even the Bears can't say. No automatic bid. They were on pins and needles for Selection Sunday. We thought there was a good chance, though, they might get in. At large, berth for the Bears. Right now they lead by 9. Vandermark.
Joey Stafford with the assist on that one.
Smallcombe with the dig, however, to keep this rally going. Back to Marika.
Marika Vandermark is showing up extremely big in this NCAA tournament first match. 12 kills on 18 attempts for the right side hitter.
Bramschreiber on the back row for Baylor. Double-digit deficit here for Shu. That ball sneaks inside the antenna. Tap back over by Nellis. Now the Bears are just getting predictable. Vandermark, Vandermark, Vandermark. But the results are there.
From the Netherlands, has dreams of participating on the Netherlands national team and playing in a way that she definitely deserves to this season.
And the Bears are 5 points away. And it's a program that only once has made it to the round of 16. That would be something they could achieve for just a second time ever if they could prevail tomorrow against USC. Yassiana Presley's night is presumably through. She will come off. And an ace for the Bears. KJ Johnson in that huddle, a freshman from the Houston area. Enrolled this past spring get a little head start.
Player that this Baylor coaching staff is extremely excited about, and I'm sure they love her having the opportunity to be on the court in this NCAA tournament.
Stafford with the ace a moment ago. That ball is wide. Will continue her service. The Bears are getting closer to match point. Ryan McGuire's theme since taking over in Waco has been the fact that this volleyball family multiplies the joy and divides the burden. There's been a lot of multiplication going on this year in terms of joy for the Bears. First ever Big 12 title. First ever #1 ranking. And now a #1 national seed. Still one more goal on the table. And Kara McGee now has them 1 point away from moving on to tomorrow's round 2 against USC. Stafford looking to close it out on match point. Baylor takes it in 3. The #1 team in the nation dances on into the second round where they will meet the Trojans of